It's just down here. Obviously, a fascinating matchup between you and Canelo Alvarez this weekend. But when you look at the puzzle in front of you here, just over here, when you look at the puzzle, what do you perceive to be the bigger challenge? Is it overcoming his size or is it overcoming his ability as a boxer? Which is the bigger challenge to you?
I don't know what challenge that he's going to pose on me. We got to wait till fight night to see.
Do you think the size has been somewhat almost overplayed in the lead up to this fight? Everyone's acting like you're making this massive jump, which is true, is a massive jump, but do you believe people are underestimating your technical ability in overcoming the size difference?
I think people is underestimating everything about me, but that doesn't matter. We got to fight here Saturday, and all the answers will be answered that night.
Is there almost some pleasure you can take in the fact that people are kind of counting you out, because then when you do prove them wrong on Saturday, you get an extra bonus of being able to tell them, I told you so?
Oh, it's going to be all right. It's going to be good. I can't wait.
And last one from me, from the UFC world, Ilia Topuria says that if you guys ever boxed, he would knock you out basically with the first punch.
That dude drunk, Hey, a lot of MMA guys, they drink a lot, so he must have been on that alcohol that day.
Terrence, for the fight itself, if you were to force Canelo on the back foot, how do you think he'll deal with a guy of your caliber just consistently pressuring him?
We shall see. He's a professional. He got a lot of experience. And, I don't put it past him. It's going to be a great fight. I can't wait.
And I spoke with Bomac last night about this, but I wanted to ask you, do you feel like this whole scenery of Netflix, Legion, all that beautiful stuff, is you finally getting the recognition you deserve and the spotlight you deserve? Obviously, the boxing world knows who you are, but we're talking people that may have never watched the sport tuning in to see you for the first time.
Well, everything happened for a reason. It ain't on my time. It's on God's time, and, the time is now, and I'm here. So I'm not going to reminisce on the past. I'm living in the present. We here now, and we about to break, records and do big numbers.
And with you potentially winning this Saturday, not only you achieve greatness of getting those belts at Super Moto, but you also edge yourself into talks forever in history of the sport. So do you think about that, or is it just straight business till Saturday and then you talk about stuff like that?
Well, I definitely think about it, but, I'm keeping myself focused on the job at hand because I don't want to, eat before my food is ready.
Hey, Terrence, this is the first time with Dana White crossing over to boxing. A lot of people have been talking about this. Have you felt any difference with his involvement around this fight, and do you think he can do great things going forward for boxing as he did for MMA?
Well, it's not just Dana, it's Netflix as well. This is a massive fight. It's talked about, all over the world right now. You can't go to any site and not see Terrence Crawford and Canelo being mentioned and talked about. So, Dana, Turkey Al-Sheikh, Riyadh season, Netflix is doing a wonderful job promoting the fight.
Recently this week, you mentioned that on the podcast that you consider Cody Garbrandt to be the best boxer on the UFC. Other than Cody, do you see or do you know any other MMA fighter that you think has the capability to transition and have some sort of success in boxing?
Well, there's a few other people, but, Cody's just one that always stuck out to me before we was even friends, I looked at him and was like, man, this dude can box.
Your confidence has been like the major point when it comes to you with this fight. The division change, a lot of people are doubting your abilities. Does that ever get to you before the fight?
Not at all. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. What one, think of me doesn't, move me or anything. They can't fight for him. They can't fight for me. So, their opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day in my eyes or in my feelings because I've been doubted my whole career, my whole life in boxing. So, I've been told I would never be where I'm at now. I was told that, I needed to get another job because I wasn't going to be a world champion. So many things that I've been told in my life, I just was like, okay, well, just watch me do it, and with my self-belief in myself, I don't care what nobody else say because I'm comfortable in my own skin.
And does that confidence allow you to give us a prediction for Saturday night?
A victory. I'm going to be victorious. then everybody gonna be talking about it on Sunday.
Thank you.
Terrence. Terrence Radio Raheem down here in the front. First of all, I want to thank you for doing all your media obligations and taking time to speak to us each day. In June, you were on Piers Morgan, and you said that you weren't 100% sure at that time that you would beat Canelo. You were 70% sure. How sure are you today that you win this fight?
I'm 1,000% sure now. You know, you gotta think. You know, going into a fight, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you can get injuries. He can get injuries. Like, there's so many things that goes on in a boxing match. You know, the judges, the ref, like just everything, preparation. So you're not 100% sure. If a fighter say, "Oh, I'm 1,000% sure," you know, they lying. You know, because you got to go out there and perform at the end of the day. And I'm more than ready to go out there and perform this Saturday.
There's a lot been said about what's on the line Saturday night. You coming up 2 weight divisions, Canelo being the undisputed champion at 68. Is this a fight where you have nothing to lose? If you don't win, does that tarnish your legacy at all or take away from what you've done in the sport?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, first and foremost, I'm definitely going to win. I'm winning this fight for sure. But at the same time, I don't think losing tarnish me or Canelo's legacy. You know, I think Canelo's a first ballot Hall of Famer, you know, and I think that I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, you know, whether win, lose, or draw, both of us going in the Hall of Fame, and I think that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day, you know, to be named with all the great fighters that came before us, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for all that we've done in the sport of boxing.
And last one from me. When Canelo reacted to the picture that's gone viral of your physique, he said muscles don't matter. They don't mean anything.
At all.
And there's been some who look at the fight at there's some that have been looking at the fight at 154 against Majumov and say that wasn't as impressive as a performance as you might have liked to have given. How do you feel at this weight, carrying that muscle, and what do you say about your performance at 154 pounds?
Listen, like I said before, we're not going to talk about the past. We're going to talk about the present and the future. His last fight wasn't spectacular either. So, you know, one that's talking about my last performance, you know, let's talk about his last performance. So don't do that on me and say, "Oh, well, your last performance was this," and you know, we got to talk about his last performance as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Terrence, how are you? This is Chava Rodriguez from ESPN Knockout. You know, to be involved in this kind of events has a lot of rumors, and you already know that everybody or many people saying that, I don't know if the left one, the right one, or both, but somebody says that you have some kind of problem in any one of your shoulders. Can you just clarify what is your position about those rumors?
Yeah, my shoulder messed up, everyone. You know, so don't tell Canelo. You know, it may be the right, maybe the left, but it's both of them. I'm having problems with my shoulders. Shh, keep that under wraps.
And finally, everybody say that Canelo is going to be the favorite in the stadium with a lot of people supporting him. But what about Omaha? Do you feel many people from Omaha is coming to support you this weekend right here in the Allianz Stadium?
For sure. I'm most certain that a lot of people from Omaha will be in attendance in the crowd. Of course, it's going to be a pro-Canelo crowd. It's Mexican Independence Day. You know, he's done great things and great numbers in Las Vegas. This is like a second home to him. So I'm looking forward to being the underdog. I'm already prepared for that. That's nothing that we not prepared for. Anything that, you know, involves this fight, we already, you know, what's up. It's cool.
Thank you.
Hey, Terrence, going back to Netflix for a second over here, how important is it that this magnitude of a fight is on that kind of platform to bring regular fans in, to bring maybe people who aren't huge boxing fans into the sport, being on this kind of platform? I mean, how important is that?
It's very important because if you look at, you know, boxing back in the days, boxing was like the number one sport, you know, in U.S. before, you know, NBA and NFL took over. But the reason why it was because it was on regular TV and more people can take notice of it. You know, when you was looking at all the mega fights back in the days, like Sugar Ray Leonard and them, they was fighting on regular TV. So it's great to be able to be on Netflix, and it's great to have those people that don't have cable to be able to witness a fight like this.
Hey, Terrence, over here on your left. Terrence on your left. Hey, you've talked a lot about needing to see what Canelo throws at you. How are you approaching adjustments during this fight, and how do you approach adjustments in any fight? Is it something you look at from the first round on?
No, it's just a feeling. You know, I'm a experienced fighter. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. So, you know, once I get in there, you know, I'm gonna make my adjustments on the fly, and we're gonna go from there.
Hey, Terrence, to your right. Thanks for doing this. You described the night you were shot in 2008 as a turning point in your life. What, if anything, still stays with you from that moment, and what does it mean to you today?
You said what?
You described that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You described that the night you got shot in 2008 as a turning point in your life and your career. I'm just wondering if anything stays with you today from that.
Not at all.